I have a great video for you today. I've been making notes on a podcast that I watched, and I wanted to share the thoughts that I had with you. The podcast is called Dear Future Wifey, and it was a great conversation with Johnsons. So I took notes, and I want to share some of my notes with you. The topic of this podcast was all about relationships, about man and woman being married for about 30 years and their thoughts about their marriage and what it takes to stay together. So, the first thing that I wrote was that men need support during challenging times, and a partner who judges them for their lack of strength is only adding salt instead of water. So, men have a masculine energy that they use in business to make more money, they use in the gym to build more muscles. And this masculine energy, this thrives from challenges. And uh, if you ever seen like a sports movie, you see the pep talk in the locker room from the coach. That's a real masculine type of conversation. And men are challenged by other men and masculine things to get better. That's how men get better. They get challenged. And oftentimes in relationships, what they need from their partner is they need the cooling, the feminine cooling of balancing all of this work that they've been putting in the masculine realm. Now, if they come to their partner with lower energy, like let's say that they need some inspiration, that's when the feminine heat can be great. And the woman in the relationship could say, "Let's go out dancing." You say, "Oh, that's great. I needed something to switch me out of this energy." But either way, it's not challenging in that way, because the masculine is already challenging enough. And so, most of all, what men look for in a partner is they look for a partner that can support them and to be able to help them during challenging times, offer words of encouragement, uh, simple little things like some food or a back rub or just somebody to listen. And what they don't need most of the time is someone that's going to say, "Well, this is why you need to do this," or someone that's going to say, "I told you that this." They already get that enough from the challenges that they're dealing with. So what they look for in a partner is someone that can support, to complement them. A man that is going through challenging times and is unable to hold his head above water in those challenging times likely needs some sort of internal source of power. And that power can normally be this reservoir that you get from your father. You get these words of wisdom, these things that you can hold on to, these life lessons from growing up. And for a lot of men that don't grow up with their father, there is a father which is available. And that is inside the context of religion. A lot of times it's called God. So God the Father. Now, for people who don't want to get involved in religion, there is a father that's available, and that father is the father inside of them. Because regardless of whether you've ever had a father in your life present, you're a man, and you know how to be a man to yourself. And what that means is that you can be a father to yourself. Before you're ever a father to anyone else, you can be a father to yourself. And so likely what a man going through a challenging time needs is they need time alone. They need time to take care of themselves first so that they can build themselves to a point where they're able to take care of other people. And yes, it can help to go connect with other stronger men and get support and wisdom and encouragement from them. Oftentimes what is really needed is a connection with self. And connection with the source inside. I mean, that is ultimately where the Father resides, is inside of oneself. Even in religions where they say, pray to God. What you're praying to, ultimately as a man, is you're praying to the source inside of you. So, as a woman, if you're looking for how to support your man during these times, the best thing that you could do is you can pray for him, you can serve him, you can help him. And if you're a man and you're wondering what to look for a partner that offers you these things. Someone that's patient with you, someone that is offering their kindness to you. We're puzzles. Each of us humans were puzzles. And God knows our image, the fullness of who we are. And that God, as I keep talking about, is inside of us. We know surface level stuff about us. I know what I want to eat today. I know that it's time for me to use the restroom. I know that I'm tired. Stuff like that. I know I want to put on this song because I think it would make me happy. The deeper part of us, the source inside of us, that part that knows our fullness, our full puzzle image. You ever put together these puzzles? You only get the small little pieces day by day, but the bigger picture, that is what God knows. So the only thing that we can really do over time is find puzzle pieces on the table and flip them over and see where we can fit them into our life and make parts of the puzzle. Maybe we get a corner here, maybe we get a middle piece here. And it can be helpful to puzzle with other people, because sometimes people will see puzzle pieces of us that we didn't know that were there, and they see patterns in us that they can point out to us. And if you think about putting together a puzzle with somebody, it wouldn't be so much fun to have someone pick up a puzzle piece and say, "How come you didn't put this in? I told you that we should." It's just you want someone that's going to be along for the journey, to cooperate, to really have fun with you, to have the joy of completing the puzzle. That's what we want with a partner, as men, even as women. You want somebody that's gonna be able to enjoy it, to celebrate it with you, and not criticize you for not having done it yourself. So, going back to my notes here, 1 second. Yeah, so the completion of the puzzle, that's the oneness. That's what we're eventually working on, is understanding ourselves the way that God understands us. And we see ourselves reflected through our relationships with others. And so one thing that I kept thinking about in terms of listening to this podcast, in terms of thinking about challenges, is that when we feel challenged by how someone else is acting, what we're challenged by ultimately is how we see ourselves in this person, how we feel challenged that maybe we don't feel like we could help this person enough, or maybe we feel like we see things that we've gone through in this person that we know that we've overcome, and it's just can be difficult to see someone still going through those things because it reminds us of where we were at, or it reminds us that we're still going through those things. So the question for us when we see people going through challenges is, can we embrace ourselves? Can we embrace them? And can we embrace ourselves in them? Or do we reject it? Do we push it away because it's too hard to look at? When someone's being vulnerable and letting you know what they're challenged with, the thing is to embrace that person in their challenge, to meet them where they're at, and to understand with empathy that them showing you that is actually strength, because them hiding is the protection that they normally would do. But someone actually opening up and telling you, I'm going through something, I'm struggling with this right now, that would be the strength. So if someone is closing up, if someone's not opening up to you, then I think the solution for that is to wait, to be patient, ask questions, And if someone's not willing to share, you just got to give them time, because that's a little like somebody saying, I don't really want to work on this puzzle right now. You're not going to force them. And yeah, you could sit there and you could continue trying to put together puzzle pieces, but then they're not going to get to participate in putting together their own puzzle. So you're going to see that time is the best way. It's like water. It's the best way to connect with somebody. So the former stage of the masculine that we have all been living in, that is the kind of warring, fighting, aggressive masculine. That's where there is no concept of what emotions are. There's no concept of the value of feelings. That has been the way that men have been existing for a long time. And we're entering this new stage where men are being encouraged to open up, to share their feelings, to be vulnerable, to get in touch with how they feel and share it with their woman. And a lot of times what you'll hear that some women in the relationships, they say, I want my man to be strong. I want him to be a rock. And so men have this tough time now figuring out what voice to listen to. Do they listen to that voice that has told them, be a man, don't cry, toughen up? Or do they listen to this voice, this new voice, which is saying, oh, well, what do you feel now? What are you going through? I want to know what you're going through. Why don't you share things with me? And it can be tough now to figure out this new stage of development. It's like the second level of being a Pokemon. It's like we're not fully at the third stage, but we're definitely not a baby. But what is this new area that we're in? And so it's good for us now to go through this and to be loved through this, and to love our women through this, through our own challenges. Women, again, I keep saying, give them patience, because women have been operating in this feeling and emotional territory for years. And eventually men will be able to understand how to both lead and to share. And if you found one, or if you are one, then that's great. That means that you're really in touch with the balance of your masculine and your feminine energy. A lot of men have been so strongly in their masculine for so long. Now they've decided to switch to the polar opposite and go very feminine to mirror more of the women that they've been around. And a lot of women have started to switch more into their masculine to mirror more of the masculine they've been around. People are trying out different roles and seeing, maybe I should try it the other way. And really the best possible thing is the balance, so that people can give each other the other 50%. And for now, that's a period of time that we're going through, which is the developing, the entering this new area where we're able to be strong, and the strength is going through the emotion. Another thought I had is that people are like plants. When you water a plant, you need to do it regularly. You need to give it sunshine. So people are like plants. You need sunshine, you need daily baths, and you also need someone to come along and pick off some dead leaves once in a while. And plants grow bigger when they're encouraged to do so. And you speak kindly to the plants and you say, hey, I think you're doing a great job. Keep going, keep growing. And plants actually shrink. It's been proven when they get criticized. So nobody wants someone to be a critic and be judged. And it's our tendency sometimes to see somebody going through something and think, I need to support them. I need to tell them what I think they're doing wrong. And really, people grow through praise. Love is the foundation of everything. And if you focus on a person's flaws, that's all you'll see. If you focus on a person's strengths, that's all you'll see. And you can look with infinite amounts of attention in any direction. And you could go forever looking at all of the good things about somebody, and those will grow in magnitude. And if you always talk about and always focus on all the things you don't like in someone, those will also grow in magnitude because they're being watered. It's just evolution. And all of God's children are works in progress in that way. So the people who thought Jesus wasn't capable of rising again. Those were ultimately the people who uh, had to see what was what, and that's from any challenge that we go through. The people that doubted you back then, and you were able to find more strength than they thought that you had,